Rome wasn't built in a day. This is another nice idiom. Success doesn't happen overnight, as you well know. It takes time, effort, and persistence. The same goes for your relationships. If you put in time, nurture your friendships and your family bonds, you will build a strong support network, because good things come with time. When it comes to improving your business English, this idiom is crucial. Just like any skill, it requires consistent practice. If you take the time to learn new vocabulary, practice speaking, and master the nuances of business communication, you will see the results actively in your career. The more effort you put into learning, the more confident and successful you will become in different business environments. So remember, you reap what you sow. Put in the work, be patient, and trust that the process, that your efforts will pay off. Soon you see the fruits of your labor, whether in a promotion, a successful business deal, or simply the ability to communicate confidently and clearly. Now, some of you might say that some people had the privilege of learning English from a very young age in their educational system, but don't let that be an excuse. This lack of exposure can actually help you be more persistent right now. Now might be the time for you to fill in those gaps, push hard, and not only compete, but also maybe win that race. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to give you some great tips on how you can achieve that. Let's first clarify an important distinction. What's the difference between general English and business English? Many of my students ask me this. So why general English is the language we use in everyday situations, business English is the specialized version of English used in a professional setting. Business English isn't just about using a different set of words, it's about tailoring your entire language to communicate more effectively within a professional context. This means knowing how to express yourself in meetings, how to write reports, emails, presentations, how to negotiate in a way that is clear, concise, and professional. For example, in general English, you might say, we need to improve our marketing efforts. However, in business English, you would say, we need to enhance our brand visibility through a more targeted marketing strategy. The words you choose in business English reflect a deeper understanding of concepts, industries, and business processes. Now, another big difference is the formality of your language and the tone. In general English, you might use informal phrases like, hey, what's up? Or can we catch up soon? Or this is super exciting. But in a business setting, you want to use a more professional kind of language. Expressions like, I look forward to our upcoming meeting, or let's discuss this in further detail at your earliest convenience. So mastering these expressions isn't just about learning the vocabulary. It's about adjusting your language to suit a professional environment, which is what we'll focus on today. Tip number 1, focus on context, not just definitions. Now, I know it's tempting to just memorize the definition of a new word, but in business English, that's not enough. You need to understand how and when to use this word in context. Take the word leverage, for example. The definition of the word leverage is to use something to its maximum advantage. But how you use it makes the difference. In a business meeting, you might say, we need to leverage our marketing resources to expand our reach. That is very different from saying we need to use our marketing resources to expand our reach. Because while both of these sentences convey a similar idea, the word leverage has a stronger, more strategic feel to it. Here's another example with the word scalability. You might define it as the ability to grow or expand, but in a business context, you could say this solution has high scalability, meaning it can handle much larger operations without significant changes. By understanding how these words fit into your business conversations, you will sound more knowledgeable and, of course, more credible. Tip number 2, use the 5-word rule. This is a technique that I've found incredibly effective in helping you remember vocabulary quickly. Now, here's how it works. Every time you learn a new word, I want to challenge yourself to use it in at least 5 different sentences. And these sentences don't have to be complex. The goal is to practice using the word in different contexts until it feels natural. Let's take the word innovative as an example. What kind of different sentences could we create? Number 1, the company is known for its innovative solutions in technology. Number 2, we need to come up with more innovative ways to attract customers. Number 3, her innovative approach to problem solving sets her apart from others. Number 4, they launched an innovative marketing campaign that increased engagement. And number 5, the product's innovative design is what makes it stand out in the market. So by using the word innovative in 5 different contexts, you start to own it and feel more comfortable using it in your day-to-day conversations. The key is to practice the word in real situations, in emails, during meetings, and even casual conversations if possible. Now, let's move on to tip number 3. Engage with business content every day if you can. This is where the magic happens. One of the fastest ways to build your business vocabulary is to expose yourself to business English every single day. It's not just about studying words in isolation, it's about seeing how these words are used in real-life scenarios. Here are some simple ways to incorporate business content into your daily routine. So the first thing is to listen to business podcasts during your commute to work. There are great options like the Harvard Business Review, the Tim Ferriss Show, that feature interviews with successful entrepreneurs and thought leaders. You can also watch TED Talks that focus on leadership, innovation, and business trends. These will introduce you to professional terms and give you a chance to hear how top speakers use vocabulary. And of course, read articles or newsletters or industry trends that could be about global economics, new technologies, best practices in marketing or finance. Websites like Business Insider, Forbes, The Economist are full of vocabulary that are highly relevant to professionals. The more you surround yourself with business content, the quicker you'll absorb new words and expressions. You'll start noticing patterns and recognizing vocabulary that you can apply in your own work. Tip number 4, create your own vocabulary list. This might sound basic, but it's incredibly effective. Now, every time you come across a word that you want to learn, write it down. But don't just write down the word, write down how it was used in the sentence. This makes it easier to remember and helps you see how the word fits into your professional context. For example, if you learn the word streamline, you could write it down like this. Streamline, to simplify or make more efficient. For example, we need to streamline our processes to improve efficiency. Or, the new software will help us streamline our reporting system. Or, streamlining the approval process will save us a lot of time. By noting both the word and the context in which it was used, you make it much easier to recall and use it correctly in future conversations. You can also categorize your vocabulary lists by industry or topic, which will help you stay more organized. Now, tip number 5 is practice with real conversations. There's no better way to test and apply your new vocabulary than by speaking, of course, with others. This could be either with colleagues, with mentors, or even with friends who are familiar with the business world you're currently in. If you don't have access to people who are fluent in business English, don't worry, there are a million resources out there. You can practice online in language exchange programs, join groups and communities where business topics are discussed. You could also visit my website to schedule one-on-one lessons with me that will take your English level and your English skills to the next step. The goal in any case is to actively use your new vocabulary in real-time conversations. Tip number 6, focus on business-specific vocabulary. This is one of the most powerful ways to accelerate your vocabulary learning. So instead of trying to learn every word under the sun, focus on the terminology that's directly relevant to your industry or your field. This ensures that your learning vocabulary can be actually used rather than wasting time with words that aren't applicable. For instance, if you work in marketing, you should be familiar with terms like brand positioning, target audience, customer journey. If you're in finance, you should focus on terms like capital allocation, profit margins, dividends. If you're in human resources, learn terms like employee engagement, talent acquisition, workplace diversity. By narrowing your focus, you'll quickly learn words that are useful to your specific role and industry. Tip number 7, review and revise regularly. Learning new vocabulary is great, but the key to mastering it is repetition. Set aside time each week to go through your vocabulary lists and practice the words that you've learned. You could even make it a habit to do a quick review every day. There are great tools like Anki or Quizlet that can help you create flashcards for your vocabulary so you can test yourself regularly in a more fun way. The more you revise, the more you will cement these words in your memory and make them part of your active vocabulary. To wrap up, remember that mastering business English vocabulary isn't necessarily a race. It's about consistent practice and real-world application. Start by focusing on words that are relevant to your work. Use them regularly in conversations and always be on the lookout for opportunities to learn more. The more you integrate these words into your daily life, the faster your vocabulary will grow. If you found today's tips helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Speak Like a Leader for more practical lessons on business English. And if you have any questions or want to share your own tips, feel free to leave a comment below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.